Yes, indeed, and a very, very happy new year. This should be the first show that we're doing this year, especially for me, but it's all lovely. And welcome to Y254. This, of course, Touchline. Great stuff for this particular year. And, of course, some have already begun the year in terms of sports. That's what we're here to talk about. And on this particular moment, we're talking about the Khokho World Cup. The Kenyan teams, the men's team, as well as the women's team, were at the inaugural edition of this championship that happened in January. That's in New Delhi, India. And they're here to tell us about their performances and also what are some of the giveaways, takeaways that they did take from this particular championship and what now happens as far as domestic action and continental matches or assignments coming up. I'm Bernardo Kumu. Welcome to the show. And of course, I'll begin by introducing my guest. That's from the Khokho, all-conquering Khokho. But they did, make great strides, announce their presence on the world stage in a beautiful way. And Simon Mbogwa is the coach of the men's team. Karibu sana, Simon.
Thank you.
Right, and of course on my immediate right is Moses Atenya. Met Moses Atenya before, but he's the men's player. He was part of the men's team, and Lorraine Makulu, I beg your pardon, the assistant captain for the women's team. Karibu sana, Lorraine, and of course Dr. Hiren Patak. Hiren, karibuni sana. On the Touchline. It's beautiful to see you, right? And I remember I did host Akina Cosmas, Akina Gneta last time, and they were here. They were just like, we don't know what to do. We are training on this surface, and the World Cup is coming. Bernard, we need you. So it's beautiful to see you that you went and came back, right?
Yes.
And you're here to talk about experiences. Reaching the quarter-final is no mean task, right? And also, especially for the men's team and the ladies' team, I think none of them lost the group matches, right? Yeah. And they're just here to talk about. So congratulations for reaching the quarterfinals. So just like pushing on and keep on dreaming. So Simon,
yes,
maybe I'll begin with you about the experiences of this tournament and what really, how was it for Team Kenya?
Oh, thank you so much, Bernard. And I would say it was a big experience. And to our players, the men and the women, they really made us proud. Starting it from the preliminary level up to the quarterfinals, we were able to push it big so that at least we could scoop our slot. We were eyeing for the finals, but all was for the fate at the quarters, and at least we had a smile and a lesson to learn all through the journey.
Yes, Atenya, for you, the experience that you did get at this championship, how valuable was it?
The experience is great. From the word go, playing on the mat, we are used to the normal surface, the hard surface, the grounds. The interactions from guys from all over the world, it was such a nice experience. And the exposure, the tactics from different teams, teamwork, coordination, and just building our team together. It was quite a nice experience, and it's one that we are looking forward to grow our game here in Kenya. Yes.
Lorraine, the women's team won all the games from a group stage, but of course lost to South Africa in the quarters. Right? Maybe mnafeel mngeshinda?
Yeah, I feel tungeshinda, but you see every team goes for the win. So you can't always win in a match. So there's a winner, there's a loser. So for this time, we lost at the quarters, but next time, we're eyeing the top.
Yeah. Was it a case of overconfidence? Because you had, it was a smart run, in the group stage.
Okay, what I can say, our team was not really relying on we are the best. We took each and every team serious. We know this is South Africa, we cannot go easy on them. This is Netherlands. We didn't look down upon any team, and that's how it's supposed to be. You take your opponents as serious as it can go. Yeah.
Yes, but for you being in the team, how valuable was it for Kenya to have you in the squad?
I think it was a two-way interaction. Lots of things I learned from the players in the Kenyan team. Being a Kenyan, it's always nice to go out there and represent your country, give your best to the maximum from whatever little we gathered all together. It was to go out there and put a good performance. So yeah, lots of learning just within ourselves and also at the world stage. So lots of things we gathered there.
Yeah, and of course the last two games that the men's team played, right, against England and Germany, right?
Yes.
This was like you had won the final. this really boosted your confidence, right? Team's
Yeah,
confidence,
I think from the first game against Malaysia, yeah, it's an Asian team. We know they play well, but we went out there confident and proved our skills. Won that game fair and square. After that was an amazing game against Australia. Very tight game, close game. A good continent Australia is, and they gave a good fight. But we were out there to show our skills, and we beat them fair and square. Not really fair and square, but a really tight game. But we held our nerve and won that.
Yeah.
After that is when we had now the match. It was a big day for us. 2 games in one day, Germany and England. Very tough teams, but I think the boys showed a lot of character, and we were out there and gave our best against those 2 teams. Did very well in our group stages. It was unfortunate we couldn't make it beyond the quarterfinals. The quarterfinals was a tough match, and our opponents were good. They've been playing for years, and they probably have better techniques and better equipments than what we have. But I'm sure with the support of the rest of the Kenyans, the government, the Nairobi City County, we'll go further and ensure we reach the finals and probably win it the next time.
Yes, for real. And Saimo, I mean, looking at the progress the Kenya had in the group stage, especially the amount, the number of points, you know, like how they used to win, kept on growing. The progression was beautiful, you know, like looking at the scores here, 57, 58, 72, 64, you know, it never went low.
True.
Right. Talk about the flow of the results in this game, and what was the main point behind the result?
Okay, well, basically, just like any other player or a coach, you'll always have to give your motivation to your team and tell them, we need to win, we need to eye for the most points, because in a round robin setup, you'll always be the lucky one who has more points. And our target at all matches was, we score many points and we'll be the best within our pool. So that one gave us an upper hand. For the teams that we met, we were trying as much as we could to get the more points we could, irrespective of how tough it could be. At times, when you get to the match, you expect, what you expect is what you know, is not what you get. But at times, it gets to a level where you have to change the tactic when the match begins. And it happened to one of the matches that we really had to change our tactic of how we were doing the thing when we were behind by around 30 points, and we had to scoop them within a minute or 2. It was a big match for us, and the big comeback from the whole of the matches that we were having in between the World Cup. And that one made us have an eye-opener that no matter what comes your way, you have to change the tactic and become more aggressive in all ends that you're working for.
Yes. And now for there could be gaps, there could be areas that Kenya was tight or good in, right? What are these areas maybe that you proved you could do it, reaching to the same key points that were able to make sure that Kenya got that far?
Okay, well, I could say, in fact, we were getting a lot of recommendations from the coaches down there in other countries, because they were saying the Kenyan team is playing really well, the ladies team, the men's team, and they were really looking for us to be in the finals. But the unfortunate bit got there that we were not able to do it, and we would say because we had some backstab even when we were training, our players were having a challenge. Some of the tactics that we get to use in Khokho are more of the diving. And more of my players, I was pushing them to the diving on grass, which is a bit, a risky bit, because you don't feel a little bit, you don't feel more safe when you're diving. But our opponents, having trained on mats for long, they had the confidence to always do the dives. You could imagine the height of a Tenya and somebody is diving over them. So that gives you a challenge of understanding that person has built a lot of confidence with time. And they don't have the fear to even go like 5 miles away from where you are and dive at you. And if you get to see the tactics in some of the matches, if you get to run through some of this, you will see Khokho is much of a speed sport. And the faster you attack your opponent, you run after the runner, and you scoop them out, the better. That one gives you an understanding of, if you can run after a player, the better. If you can dive at a player, the faster and the merrier for you. And if you can attempt to do the pole dives, it gives you a quicker bit of attacking and scooping the opponents a faster bit. Yes.
Atenya, you scooped a number of awards along the way, right? Dedicate them to the team.
Yeah, first of all,
Yeah.
I would like to thank God. For me, it's always God, number one. I wouldn't say it's my own effort. The other thing, it's the team, the MVP first, the MVP awards. I thank God I got 2 of them. That one I dedicate to our team. It has been a big team effort. The other one is the attack. I have a friend called Kevin Buire, aka Kevin Kumar. When we played, when we were training, he could attack easily and scoop some points. So I think he motivated me on the attack and the defending part, which I really learned a lot from both men's teams. A player called Sam, our captain, during the trainings, he could defend well. There is Zuena. Zuena is a good young lady who plays well. Then there is Faustin. Those 3, I could watch them play very well during training, and how they trained, how they played is when I learned the tactic. And in general, from our coaches too, our coaches have been a big part. They could push me in all angles, and we did it. So the whole awards that I got, I really dedicate it to our team. Our team has really played, and also our opponents. If they weren't there, then I couldn't go to the awards. So it has been a team effort. The awards, I really dedicate them to our team, and also the federation that have given us an easy time, because we could only think of training. We were not thinking of, are there tickets, are there visas? They gave us a humble time. All we thought is, let us give our best in our training. They could just tell us we are working on it, we are working, everything is going smoothly. So
The government didn't take you in circles this time. Anyway.
so at least that one gave us a humble time to
Prepare, concentrate.
Yeah, to concentrate on the game. And we gave, when we went there, we gave our best, and we thank God for the awards that we got along the way. Though we didn't come with the
Main trophy, yeah.
but at least there are some awards.
Sure. Sure. Individual awards, galore of them here. Maybe at one point in the interview, I'll be able to lift them and show. For you, you've played a number of games, right? How fulfilling is Khokho?
Wow. Khokho brings the child in you. Like, I remember there was a game we used to play when we were young. Like when you're caught, you stand, you run, and somebody, for you to be
Rounder.
rescued, somebody comes and enters. So I was one of the best players in those games, running. I just loved running. So when I got in touch of Khokho, I was introduced by the secretary, Mikal, and Martha, the 2 sisters. They introduced me to the game. And I saw, this is a game that we used to play when we were young. And you know, the Kenyan thing of running is in us. So again, I incorporated the Kenyan thing in us. So I really loved it. It brings the inner child, the child in you. You are happy when you're playing Khokho. Yeah, so that's one thing I really enjoy about Khokho.
Nice one. So, Laureen, for the women's team, what was maybe the crucial points that the team picked? Because looking at the result, there's also like seamless. You know, it was maybe your biggest win was against Australia, you know, and then the quarterfinal came. Did you panic in the quarters? The team panic?
Not really. Okay, first, our biggest win was against Netherlands. Against Netherlands, we got 119 and they had 16. But that did not tell us that we need to lower the game. Even the rest of the matches, we kept pushing. The third day, we had Uganda and Australia the same day. Uganda in the morning, Australia, and we won both matches because we knew, actually what we used to be told is, take every match as a single game on its own. Win this one as you wait for the next. So each and every game you push to your level best to get the maximum points. That's why we were able to win the group stages and go to the quarters. So when going for the quarters, we also knew we were going for a game that was on its own level. So we had to push still, not that because we've been winning on the group stages, we are going to keep it low.
And maybe for the team members that were the teammates, you know, the players that you are with, who were really instrumental. Of course, everybody was key in their role, right? But how would you talk about how you all like rallied together to get the result?
Okay, so for the ladies team, I can say most of us who are working together because we know each other's strengths. But there's someone who can defend better. We have someone who can do the most ball dives. We have someone who can sprint. So let's say we see this defender who is becoming a nuisance. We know this one can pole dive. We make sure we bring that defender to this one who can pole dive. So that you see, it's not that this one will pole dive will get the points alone. It will be teamwork. I'm the one who brought the defender there, but she's the one who caught it. Like we used to incorporate all our strengths to achieve what we were targeting.
Yes, and maybe Africa Cup as well as having more players abroad, it could be the next target, right? Winning the inaugural Africa Cup. That will be big. How big will it be?
The African Cup is going to be big. We are so excited for it since the World Cup has set a stage that is.
Yeah, you've done it.
We need to match that. So there are going to be more tournaments so that the team is exposed more. So with the support from the government and the Nairobi County government, we are going to achieve most of these things that they are going to be realistic. Because we will be going for those tournaments being more ready. Because I can say, okay, when training, for instance, here in Kenya, for the dives, the skydive. For me, I did one dive, I got a scratch and was like, I can run. I'll just go through running. I won't dive. You see? But you see people are flying.
Yeah,
like,
but they're flying on mat,
So my first dive a good dive was on the stage. But now looking back, I'm like, what if I would have trained better on the dive? What if?
Yeah, what
I
if?
had a mat that I had trained and become more confident in it, it would be better.
Yeah.
And even the pole dives. We've been training, you don't have the pole dive, but when you go for the match, you're supposed to do a pole dive. You see, some of those skills you need to practice for them to be in the muscle memory.
Yeah. For Dr. Hiren,
yes.
For you at that particular level, at the inaugural World Cup, and also, coming back with good performance, right? Commendable performance that really makes you look forward to the next tournament, right? I mean, at that particular stage, maybe what are some of the advantages that you got? As much as there could be little struggles here, where the surface is not that, up to date, but definitely things are going to improve. What kind of mental strength did you gain from this particular tournament?
So lots of positives, no doubt. I mean, representing the country, all this 30 of us who went out there and represented the country at world stage. Definitely each one of us has picked up at least something. Talking about myself personally, or at least a few guys from the men's team, recommendable skills that we learned from there. Even just by seeing a few games, you learn a lot of things, different techniques that you start learning. Of course, there are, as she mentioned, there are a lot of what if. What if we had also, then probably would be celebrating here with the cup. But no doubt, wherever we reached with whatever we were provided with, we went out there and showed whatever we have and picked up a lot of things. For example, the dives. When we are being told with the coaches to practice those dives, it was difficult because it's a grass surface. It's not suitable. But when you go down there, you feel that what the coaches are saying is right. Just that we just need the right surface, and I'm sure a lot of effort is being put behind to bring those right surfaces so that we reduce this what ifs and next time come up with something recommendable. The good thing, one of the biggest positives was gelling up with this team. The 30 athletes, excellent skills, and now with skills, when teamwork comes along, I think we can go and reach and beat any country at whichever level. That's the kind of skills and strength these two teams have, men and women. So fantastic things that we learned there, the gelling and the bonding that has been formed there. I think we are ready to compete anywhere if a similar team, or probably even if the same team, goes and competes somewhere.
Yeah, and definitely with such a result for a pioneer team, this makes the bond even more stronger.
Definitely.
You did it out of,
Yeah, definitely. It's something probably, in fact, a few, not in a bad way, but a few guys out there were shocked. because they've not heard about Kenya playing Khokho and probably not representing at a very high level. But I mean, the skills are there. It's just that we didn't have a chance to showcase it anywhere, and this was probably the best stage to show what Kenya can do and what the Kenyan athletes and Khokho players have in them. Yes, definitely there are those gaps that we need to fill, which I'm sure with the help of the government and the rest of the supporting people from this nation will definitely go far ahead.
Yes, and Simon, maybe for you now, you see, leading such a team and getting there with, I would say that 100% of what you did to just get the knowledge, you know, of guiding the team is purely individual effort, right?
True.
That goes with, you know, capacity building, the coaching aspect, right? Now for you, how better do you want to make it? Because now quarterfinals can never get lower than that.
Exactly. Thank you so much. What I would say is we have, from the time we started up with Khokho back in 2020, and we have walked the journey, we have always shown our players that we want to create an inclusivity. And from the inclusivity, we have set a standard within our players so that they can be able to understand that you can own this sport and work with it all the way. And apart from that, calling on the government, our counties, and even the sponsors, if we could create villages within our counties where we can be able to tap the talents that are in these counties, I think we'll be in a better position to bring the best of the Atenyas, the Lolin, and the Hirens, so that we can be able to get more and more players to represent us in our sports. You can imagine, suppose we would be having the East Africa games going on, the African matches going on, and the intercontinental and even the world going on, the international games going on. We would be having players who are able to attend all these concurrently. Why? Because we have been able to tap from all the counties we have within our country. And that will bring us to a better bit of finding that players that do not belong to a sport, they indeed have something to own.
And of course, from countries that began it, you know, countries that where this particular sport originated centuries ago, you know, do they have responsibility to nations that just picked it up like?
Oh yeah, sure. In fact, I would call a country like Nepal has already given us an invite. And Bhutan the same. They already gave us an invite that we can have exchange programs. That tells you they liked the way we set the pace during the World Cup. And that tells you they have been playing within the Asian championships have already seen the effort within the African setup of players, considering like we only had 4 countries from Africa. And from what we set there is evident enough that we have better players and more skills are within the African continent.
Yes. And now, just maybe this could be the last thought as I go. I take one or two views from each player here. For you now, the local league, do you think that it offers how it is structured today and how it's played today? Does it give a proper pool of talent?
I would say the series, we call them the series. The Khokho series has been very instrumental to us as a federation, because that is where we have been able to get the best of the best from the players, from the ladies and the men. And also, it has been able to gauge us. Are we able to reach out to the many within the counties and the country at large? And from there, we are now able to know that what is the next strategy as a federation we are supposed to do so that we can be able to make the sport known by each and everybody. And an appreciation to our federation, because we have been able to at least step to different counties. We have already Mombasa doing the same, and we are also eyeing to go to more of the counties and looking forward to at least after the run of time, we now resume back to the series and the league. We can be able to now be able to include more of the championship.
Yes, and spread it further to many parts of the country. Do we have Africa Cup coming up?
Yeah, Africa Cup is coming on, and those that were not able to attend, call it of Mali, Senegal, Guinea-Bissau, they are looking forward to also have the championship come on board. And also countries like Egypt, who are very passionate about sport, they're also looking forward to coming on board.
When is that expected, maybe? The Continental Championship?
It's in the diaries. We shall keep posted. Exactly.
Okay, so Atenya, Roll ball, big, you won the World Cup, man. Yeah, you go to the quarters, right? I mean, now what next?
Uh, for Khokho, yeah.
Yes.
The knowledge we've gained, the skills we've been able to grow, and are some of the things you are looking forward to spread it towards to other upcoming players within the nation. And just with the experience we've had, we have the knowledge enough to build other teams within Kenya. You know, it all begins with the numbers. If numbers are there, then people will give their best in terms of selecting the national team. It will really make people give their best. And when it comes that the national team is selected, then it will be tough. So our main goal is seeing that the game is spread, the skill is attained for both men's different teams, ladies teams. That's one of our main goals, to be coaches. As we've been impacted with the skill, we are using that skill that we've gained to grow to others. And if you've learned, if you train people, you improve on what you had before. Yes. So that is one thing we are really eyeing to develop the sport in the nation, to really see it grow and bring the cup back at home, just as we've been doing other
sports.
Yes.
So best defender, best attacker. This means that you always in search of excellence.
True. What I always say, the skills that God has given me, I use it to showcase His prowess. So any chance I get, any moment I get, like Jalong always say, ukipata nafasi una utilize hadi kama ni job unaitwa tena, kama ni like any chance you get.
It's like the last time.
Yeah, you do it like it's your last time. You just give it your best, and that's what I've learned over the years, that any moment I get, any chance I get, I should give my best. Yes.
Nice one. Lorraine, for the ladies, the future is bright. Quarter-final is no mean task, as we've said. What kind of future does it hold?
Okay. On behalf of the ladies, I can say most of us have gained invaluable experience from just going to the World Cup. There are so many skills that we've got to see firsthand, and like when the coach used to share them in the group, says, watch this, we are going to implement it during training session. Here we had the chance to see how they affect the course. So most of us have gained a lot from that, and we are going to use that to spread. We are going to share with others. We want to see most schools in Kenya playing Khokho. We want to work in different institutions and say this is how it's done, because most of us, like it's a big number that went to that, so we can. This group goes to want to spread Khokho.
Yeah, sure. And you know you're the pioneer class, so which means you're the ones who will be coaches, managers, as well as even officials of the federation. You know, you get back that knowledge. For Dr. Hiren, I mean, this one particularly maybe gives you maybe an age mentally to just like believe more in the sport.
Yeah, definitely. It's when you go to a world stage and you perform well as a team, definitely gives you a lot of morale, a lot of courage, a lot of mental strength to go ahead and do better for the nation, be it playing or be it passing the sport to the next generation and to the rest of the people in Kenya. I think the management, the coaches have been trying their best, and we are more than happy to also get involved and push the sport forward. But yes, mentally, definitely, big age. You go out there and represent your nation at a world stage. So definitely, you feel happy, you feel great, and it's a motivation and probably something you'll remember for the rest of your life, that you are part of that men's team which reached a quarter final, and it was the first World Cup of its kind. So definitely a memorable thing for the rest of my life at least.
And also maybe as a practicing doctor, you also have lessons for the rest who are afraid to pick up sports just because they are too busy or something like that, right?
Yes, yeah, definitely. Sure. I mean, you are, I would say you're nobody is bound by anything. You can age is just a number. You can or profession, be it, there shouldn't be any challenge to play sports unless it's a physical disability. Then maybe it becomes a challenge. But otherwise, I would say nobody has a restriction to play sports. It's one of the greatest things to do. It just keeps you fit mentally, physically, spiritually as well. And yeah, it's your profession or your age should not be a cut to your sporting career.
Yes, indeed. That's Dr. Hiren Patak, the men's player for the national Khokho team, as well as Lorraine Makulu, who's also the assistant captain for the women's team, Moses Atenya, and Simon Bogwa, the coach. Thank you so much for gracing the touchline, and we wish you all the best, right? Stay with us. Up next, I'll be talking to players from the Big Hawk Soccer Academy from Nairobi.